Hello everyone, myself Professor D.S. Monde, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Processing and Food Engineering, KK College of Agricultural Engineering and Technology, Nasik. Today, I am going to deliver online lecture on importance of engineering properties of agricultural produce. So this lecture is from the course uh, Engineering Properties of agricultural produce, having course number PAP 233 and credit 1+1 from semester 3 of the second year BTech of BTech. So starting with the first slide, classification of engineering properties. So before going to study the classification of engineering properties, it is important to know that these engineering properties are plays important role from the point of view of various scientists, researchers, food technologists for studying different characteristics and behavior of the agricultural produce during the processing operations. So classification. The engineering properties of biological or agricultural produce basically classified into 6 categories, that is geometrical properties, gravimetric properties, optical properties, mechanical and rheological properties, frictional properties, textural properties. So there are also other engineering properties of agricultural produce which are shown in the next slide. So geometrical properties. So these geometrical property includes size, shape, sphericity. Gravimetric properties includes bulk density, specific gravity, porosity. Optical properties are light reflectance, absorptance, transmittance, color. Mechanical and rheological properties includes stress-strain relationship, creep, flow properties. Frictional properties includes coefficient of friction, angle of repose, rolling resistance, rebound characteristics. And the textural properties of agricultural produce includes surface texture, firmness, appearance, fiberness. So there are other important properties, that is resilience, break strength, compressibility, maximum allowable strength, expansion characteristics, aero and hydrodynamic properties. These are nothing but buoyancy, flow characteristics, viscosity, fluidity, etc. Thermal properties includes thermal conductivity, thermal diffusivity, specific heat, etc. Electrical properties includes electrical conductivity, electrical resistance, electrical capacitance, dielectric properties, etc. Biochemical properties are nothing but pH value, respiration rate, etc. So importance of geometrical properties. Geometrical properties includes, as we discussed, size, shape, surface area, density, volume and appearance. So size has importance in specifying screens for optimum separation. Suppose we have to separate grain impurities from the grain in cleaning operation, we must know the size of the crop grain for designing the specific uh, screen opening. Then selection of disc for precision planting, proper adjustment of cylinder clearance and screen opening, combining etc. In all these operations, size of the agricultural produce has a much importance. Then comes next shape. For determination of free flowing or bridging tendencies of grain mass, we must know the shape of that particular agricultural produce. Also in material handling equipment, we must know the shape of the agricultural produce or grain commodity. Material handling equipments are nothing but belt conveyor, screw conveyor, bucket elevator, chain conveyor, pneumatic conveyor, etc. So these equipment reduces the drudgery of human during the material handling operation. Then bulk density, specific gravity and porosity. Handling of materials for filling in bags and storage. Porosity helps in calculating thermal diffusivity in heat transfer problems, in, in determining Reynolds number in hydraulic and pneumatic conveying of material. Color. Color is the most valuable technique as light reflectance for selective separation in field as well as in processing plant to remove undesirable of colored material from the produce. So color, on the basis of color we design the color sorter which removes the foreign matters or unwanted material from the grains during the processing. So mechanical properties. Importance of mechanical properties. Mechanical properties deal with the deformation due to forces applied on the material. Now concept of elasticity. Elasticity is nothing but the solid tries to maintain its shape under the influence of small external forces and recovers its original shape and size when the forces are removed. So this is nothing but the elasticity, means when we apply certain role on a body, this body tries to maintain its original shape and size. When we remove the shape or load, then this body regains its original shape and size. This property of material is nothing but the elasticity. Other important mechanical properties includes aerodynamic drag, compressibility, friction and abrasion, allowable impact, shear and tensile strength. Mechanical properties describes the behavior of the material under applied load. Thermal properties. Many of agricultural products of plant and animal origin are subjected to various types of thermal processing before they are placed at the access of the consumer. The thermal processing may include heating, cooling, drying and freezing. There are other also thermal processing operations, but basically heating, cooling, drying and freezing are important one. Heating or cooling of agricultural products may be accomplished by the method of convection, conduction and radiation. So in order to transfer heat to the product or agricultural commodity or any type of commodity, three modes of heat transfer are there, that is convection, conduction and radiation. A knowledge of such thermal characteristics as specific heat, thermal conductivity, diffusivity, surface conductance is essential for design of the equipment and prediction of process time. Time and temperature plays important role during thermal treatment of biological material as both are equally important to preserve the viability, nutrients and quality of the material. For example, in pasteurization and sterilization process of milk, time and temperature combination plays an important role. Uh, Such as in pasteurization process of milk, every particle of milk is heated at a temperature of 63 degrees Celsius for the time period of 15 to 30 minutes. So this process is nothing but the long time, long temperature, uh, long time low temperature process, LTLT. So this, in order to kill the pathogenic bacteria from the milk, we must have some combination of time and temperature to kill that particular pathogenic bacteria. Also, in case of sterilization, every particle of milk is heated at a temperature of 72 degree, 74 degree or more than that Basically, in sterilization, a particle is heated above 100 degrees Celsius for the period of 2 to 3 seconds. So, in these processes, time and temperature combination plays important role. Electrical properties. Electrical properties of agricultural produce which are important in handling and processing are electrical conductance, capacitance, dielectric properties and reaction to electromagnetic radiation. Electrical conductance and capacitance properties have been used in moisture content determination. For example, various moisture determination equipment designed on the basis of electrical properties such as universal moisture meter. This universal moisture meter exploits the electrical resistance property of the biological material to determine its moisture content. Electrical resistance is used for precise measurement of cotton fiber length, distribution and fineness of wood fiber. So what is dielectric heating? Heating of the material to its own dielectric losses when placed in electrodynamic field is nothing but the dielectric heating. Use of dielectric heating, drying of plastics, or we can also say that applications of dielectrical heating, that is drying of plastics, ceramics and other non-conducting materials. Advantages of dielectric heating for heat treatment and drying of agricultural products are uniformity of heating, high rate of temperature rise within a short period of time. Optical properties. So as we said that light transmittance and reflectance properties of agricultural products have been explored in recent years for electronic sorting and grading, maturity and surface color determination, and study of the interior characteristics of fruits and vegetables. So light reflectance characteristics of agricultural product have also been considered for selection, grading and separation of desirable products from foreign materials. So here the using the optical properties we separate various impurities from the agricultural commodity on the basis of these optical properties. So the machine which exploits these optical properties of biological material is nothing but the color sorter, which separate the material on the basis of difference in various color characteristics of the biological material. Chemical properties. Chemical properties of agricultural products are important from handling, transportation and storage of biological materials. So these fruit, juices, milk and its products require the studies of their chemical properties for preservation and storage. For example, all the agricultural commodities are perishable. So in order to preserve them or to transport them from one place to the another place, we must know the chemical composition or chemical properties of that biological material so that we can preserve it, or by changing or by value addition we can increase its shelf life. So certain cereals and pulses to need to be studied on this line for processing etc. Rheological properties. So definition, what is rheological properties? The study of deformation and flow of matter is nothing but the rheological science. It considers the time effect during loading or stressing of a body under test. Rheologically, the mechanical behavior of material is explained in terms of three variables. So these three variables are stress, strain, or we can also say that load, deformation, and the last one is the time. Out of these three variables, the time effect is more pronounced for a material that is not elastic but viscoelastic. For elastic materials, mechanical properties are independent of the time effect. Most farm grains are elastic during the first portion of the load deformation curve but exhibit viscoelastic properties which are time dependent and must be expressed in rheological terms. Rheological Rheological test on materials which Rheological test on materials which exhibit both elastic and viscous characteristics generally consist of applying a known load and then determining the rate and amount of deformation or of deforming the material at various rates and noting the resultant force. Another common test is to deform the material at a given rate and to determine the stress relaxation as a function of time. Representation of rheological behavior. Rheological behavior of the agricultural produce is represented by various models, that is Maxwell model, Kelvin model, Barger model. So Maxwell model. In Maxwell model, the spring and dashpot are connected in series, while in a Kelvin model, the spring and dashpot are connected in parallel. In Berger 4-element Berger model, the spring and dashpot are connected in a combination of series parallel. So, importance of studying rheological properties. Mechanical handling of agricultural products results in deformation and flow of the material under applied loads of tension, compression, shear, and impact. Different types of biological materials behave different under a specific load condition, and hence the study of this property is of great importance for those related to loading of such materials. Hygroscopic properties. So most of the biological materials are hygroscopic in nature. These The hygroscopic is nature nothing but these absorbs moisture from their surroundings if exposed to wet environment, which in turn have influence on their physical and other properties. So temperature and relative humidity are the hygroscopic properties which are of major importance in handling, processing and storage of food materials. The hygroscopicity of biological material is usually measured by determining equilibrium moisture content EMC for a given temperature and relative humidity. Equilibrium moisture content is nothing but the moisture when the substance is exposed to the environment, or agricultural commodity when exposed to a environment, to a wet environment, then it absorbs, if the grain absorbs moisture from the surrounding, and in that case the vapor pressure of the grain is less because it absorbs moisture from the surrounding. Or when the vapor pressure of grain is more than the vapor pressure of the water vapor surrounding it, then it loses moisture content. So this property of losing and gaining moisture according to the atmospheric set of temperature and relative humidity is called as hygroscopicity. A curve depicting EMC at a given temperature is termed as an isotherm having sigmoid shaped curve. These isotherms are generated on desorption and adsorption phase. From these isotherms, the hygroscopic properties can be easily determined. Thank you. So, In this lecture, we have studied the importance of various engineering properties of the agricultural produce. All these properties plays important role in various operations. For example, the physical properties, that is gravimetric and geometric properties, has their importance in design of the various cleaners, separators. Uh, Thermal properties has their importance in processing, that is in heating, cooling, freezing operations. Likewise, each and every properties of the biological materials has importance from the point of view of various research scientists, food technologists, food engineers, and research scholars, etc. Thank you.